Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Hope everyone is having a great Tuesday morning so far. And last night there was a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic talking about last night's WWE Monday Night Raw from Quebec City. Of course, last night the two biggest overstars with the Quebec crowd were the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Started off at the beginning of Raw when Sami Zayn came out, got a huge pop, and then after the Judgment Day came out ringside and surrounded the ring, and Sami said he did not come alone. And then out comes Kevin Owens to another big hometown pop. And then, of course, in the main event last night, more big pops for Zayn and Owens. But that was definitely the loudest that Quebec crowd got last night during Raw. I wouldn't say that they were dead or anything the rest of the show last night, but they were definitely not as loud as they were for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which isn't too surprising. Of course, they're from there, but the rest of the show, they did kind of seem like a little toned down, maybe. So it wasn't too bad of an episode of Raw last night, though. But I definitely wouldn't say it was real great either. In the main event, Zayn and Owens with Cody Rhodes were victorious in a 6-man tag over the Judgment Day. And tonight we have NXT on USA. Once again, not quite sure just yet if I will be doing a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight, recapping tonight's episode of NXT. But last week I did, so for tonight, who knows, I might decide to do a recap of it. And for the rest of the week, tomorrow we have the Go Home episode of AEW Dynamite. The Go Home before All in London this Saturday, or Sunday, I should say. And also, tomorrow, AEW will also be taping this Saturday's episode of Collision. And I mentioned this already the other day, that last Friday night, AEW has already taped Friday's episode of Rampage. I'm not sure about Ring of Honor, if they might have taped some extra Ring of Honor matches for this Thursday's episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club. Usually, Ring of Honor tapes at Collision, but since this week they won't be live Saturday night, of course, traveling to London for All In. They may have taped some extra matches last week, because I noticed last week's episode was actually in two different cities. They have done that before, where they went back and forth, where some of the matches were in one city where Dynamite was taped, and then the rest of the matches were from where Collision was. And Thursday, we got Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor on Honor Club. And then Friday, WWE SmackDown and Rampage. And Saturday, got the Go Home episode of AEW Saturday Collision. And then tomorrow, or not tomorrow, I don't know why I said that. Then Sunday is the big day. Here starts off at noon Eastern with 0 Hour, and then at 1 AEW All in London, and then Sunday night Impact Wrestling Emergence, which will be available on Impact Plus, Fight TV, and YouTube for the Ultimate Insiders. So that is the week of pro wrestling that we have coming up. Definitely should be a good week. And like I said, not sure yet if we'll be having a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight or not. But one thing I am sure of, tomorrow we'll be here for the Wednesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, where I will preview tomorrow night's episode of AEW Dynamite. So be here for that if you can. And that's all for this Tuesday morning episode of GMWF. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, remember, if you have any questions or comments or anything, if you want to leave your feedback for last night's Monday Night Raw, you can in the comments section, either here on Spreaker, YouTube, or whichever podcast app you listen to on. And remember, all the social media, Instagram 360 Wrestling Fanatic, or 360 Wrestling Podcast, Facebook 360 Wrestling Podcast, and Twitter or X at 360 Wrestling Pod. Also, remember, you can listen to 360 Wrestling Podcast just about anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Here on Spreaker is the main place, but also on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Podcast Addict, and I'm sure there's more that I'm not mentioning. Once again, that is all for today. We'll talk to everyone tomorrow morning. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.